Assalamualaikum students. This is Iftikhar Ahmed, your computer teacher. Today our topic is the generation of the computers. In my first class, we talked regarding the first generation of the computer. After that all, in a second class, we started regarding the second generation of a computer. Today we will talk regarding the third generation of the computer. Before starting, I would love to repeat few regarding the first and second generation of the computer. Firstly, the question is, what is the generation? That means a period, a time where the computer developed timely. It made the things possible, it made the things easily. In the first generation, the vacuum tubes were used. You can see over there, these are the vacuum tubes. The first development of a computer, which was started in the year 1940 till 1956. The first computer, or the first generation computer, was bigger in a size. A lot of the people were using that computer because of its size. It was bigger. It was taking around 2 rooms. It produced a lot of heat. It needed a lot of people to operate the computer, as I told you regarding the size of a computer. The second generation, which was based on the transistor, you can see this is the shape of a transistor. Now, why the vacuum tubes were replaced into the transistor? The reason the vacuum tubes were bigger in size. After that, the transistor, which was invented in the year 1947, but it was launched officially in the year 1956, which named as the second generation of the computers from 1956 to 1963. So what was the difference? The vacuum tubes were bigger in size, so it needed a lot of space. So it was slower. So it was replaced by the transistor, where the transistor was smaller in size. The second generation's transistor was smaller in size. Well, the third generation, which is our today's topic, the third generation's computer, which was based on the ICs. IC, that means integrated circuit. Now the question is, what is integrated circuit? The integrated circuits are silicon chips, which are more faster, reliable, which boosted the computer's speed. That was the year between 1964 until 1971. The vacuum tube were replaced by the transistor, but the transistor were not replaced by the ICs. The ICs were added on a same silicon chip. The computer made the possible things very easier, quicker. Also the third generation, which is also named, it became a more smaller in size. Even in a third generation, a lot of the languages were introduced, like the COBOL, Fortran, C, Pascal. These all are the example of the third generation. The third generation's example are IBM 360 series and also the Honeywell 6000 series. You can see over there, these are the example of the third generations. In a third generation, the user was able to use the multiple programs at the same time. In the first generation, the punch cards were used, where a human was unable to do the multiple tasks on the same computer. Only one task was performed at one time. But in a third generation, a human was able to complete his task more than one time. Also, in a year 1969, the operating system was introduced, named Unix. Unix, a lot of people might be well known of a Unix operating system or not, but let me tell you, we are using the Windows or the Macintosh. the Windows from the Microsoft, while the Macintosh from the Apple. But what is Unix? Unix is also operating system which was introduced in the time of a third generation in the year 1969. The Unix operating system is a bit harder. It just complete his task through the command prompt, where the C compiler exists over there in a Unix program. And my students, let me also tell you, the Pascal was built in this generation in the year 1960s. The Pascal is structured. Programmers have to program methodically and carefully. This language was named after Blaise Pascal, a 17th century scientist who constructed one of the first mechanical aiding machine. Dear students, so this was your third generation of the computers. The first generation was based on a vacuum tube, so people were unable to buy the first generation's computer because of its size, its cost. It needed a lot of electricity, so common people were unable to buy that computer. But in a third generation, the computer became smaller, cheaper, faster, reliable. So now, officially, the people were able to buy the third generation computers. The features are, the third generation also brought the high-level programming language. The magnetic drum were also used to store the data. I hope you enjoyed my class. In the next class, inshallah, we will talk regarding the fourth generation of computers, which is based on the microprocessors. This is your computer teacher, Iftikhar Ahmed. Allah Hafiz.